So I am of the school of thought that everybody has a video game that serves as some sort of anchor point for them, whether in their memory. And it could be something, even if you're not a gamer, right? Even if you don't classify yourself a gamer, you don't classify yourself as someone who likes video games. I would assume you have a memory of video games where you just don't enjoy, whether it be, oh, yeah, me and my siblings used to fight over the game console, and it was never fun even when we were playing, or something. Maybe that's your memory. One of my core memories, if we're bringing this back into what's that movie with the little girl and the hockey team and the memories and the stuff is and the life is sad. Inside Out, Inside and Out, Inside and Out. Wait, Inside Out, Inside and Out, Inside Out. Yeah, we're gonna stick with that one. But so there's that girl, and she has these core memories, and they're these memories that make up a person as who you are. And my core memories as a gamer heavily involve this game. Not necessarily Modern Warfare Remastered. In fact, it doesn't have Modern Warfare Remastered in them at any point in time. But in fact, Call of Duty 4, the original of this game. Ooh, excuse me. You ever I walked across the house like a very not far distance, but like I did it really quickly right before I started doing this video. And so when I started recording, I was out of breath. For some reason, like I got excited and then anyway, sorry. And so this game, Call of Duty 4, serves as a core memory in my gaming history, and part of that was twofold of reasons, and one of them being this very map. Both of actually the reasons I guess surround this very map. The first one is I really am a big fan of abandoned places, cool places, places that nobody else are. Like looking into that place we are right there, like that guy was. Like it's an Easter egg kind of place. It's one of my favorite places in the map just because it's not very popular. But this whole map, again, that's I guess maybe another reason why I like this map in general. But this map has two ways about playing it as well. It doesn't just like have like this really cool theme of this abandoned Chernobyl kind of Paprat Ukraine kind of feel kind of place. It's not just aesthetically cool. This map has two distinct styles of play. You can hang out inside of the buildings that we have in front of you on both sides. You can hang out and shoot across to the other people in the building, or you can run around and get an SMG or something close quarters, and you can go back and forth inside of the buildings, and you can have close quarters combat inside of these buildings like I am right now. And I always thought that you just had to play this map like boring, like with an M40 or a 50 cal, or best case scenario an M16, and that's not true at all. And I think I do a little bit of both in this game. Actually, I do a little both sniping back and forth. Here we go with the sniping again, and it was like a revelation for me that you could play different play styles, and that some play styles I found more fun than others. And that's kind of what maybe why a reasoning that this game and this map in particular have some sort of special memories for me as far as gaming goes. And another thing is this map had a couple glitches or elevators or whatever you want to call them, hacks, exploits, where you could get into like some of there's a stairwell directly behind me from where I'm looking right now. It's behind and to the left of me, and there's like a blocked off stairway. Maybe I'll turn around and show it. I don't think there's no reason for me to look back there. Yeah, I will not look back there at all. And you could get into those stairwells, or you could do an elevator near them, kind of in the area where I just dropped that airstrike. You could get back there and you can kind of walk around on this map. You could explore inside some of these other buildings that you can see. And so I had a lot of fun, just memories, just walking around this map and exploring this place that was like semi-real, but it's complete fiction, but this place in general is real. So there's like some sort of historical element. So I had a lot of fun, finding the exploits in Call of Duty 4 and finding the different elevators, different places to get out of the map. Actually, right here, we just passed that corner. That we just went around. That was the elevator spot, and you can get up and you can get into that building. You can get on top of the building, and you could like jump around from building to building. And so I had a lot of fun just in private matches with like one or two other people, and just like kind of laughing hysterically, and like talking for endless hours. And I'm trying to like think, what room was I? Like I knew what house I was in at this time, and so like I knew like generally speaking like where it would be. But I couldn't place like when I'm thinking about these memories, I can't place like anything at all in the real world. The anchor point for my memory in that for that memory I have of, you know, exploring these different places, I don't have of like looking at a TV or being on a couch. Like my memory is of like, so to say, of running around in the map. And so it was like a really weird like not weird is not the right word, but it's like a really cool feeling being able to go back and like play this game as like a remastered version, because recently now I've been going back and playing bots. I mean, this game is still populated. I just don't have PlayStation Plus, and so like I can go back and play. And the only reason I would want to get PlayStation Plus is just so I could play this game. I'm trying to think of like maybe any other games that you know, still have multiplayer. I have a couple other, you know, maybe I really enjoyed Battlefield Hardline. I don't know if anyone's still playing that. I'm trying to look at my PlayStation games now. Oh yeah, shit. Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, so there are definitely some things I'm interested in checking out about the play, but the primary reason is so I could play. Would be interested in playing this game right here. But I've been playing bots, and playing bots is a lot different than playing the real game. But part of what's fun about bots is like you wreck house whenever you want, and so that is it's kind of fun to be able to just see mad points pop up on the board. But yeah, and also you play, you know, bots differently than you play against real humans, and so you don't get to like use real strategy. You could use like bot strategy or whatever. But it's a lot of fun just being able to still roam around these kind of places. So I am thinking about getting PlayStation Plus again just to play this game online. But yeah, Call of Duty 4 it has like this special like anchor point in my head, and one of the other ones was on Ambush. And so I was playing Ambush, playing against bots in a bot game yesterday, and I was trying to get outside the map and like jump in on all of like these different areas that I knew. And it was just kind of I was thinking about, you know, my experience here getting around in these maps, in the different ways that, you know, you could play. And it was just kind of interesting to think about how like the memory tied from that game very much feels like I'm in this game, but like in like physically in the game, like I'm a part of the game. But of course that is not at all what's happening there. It is impossible, believe it or not. Surprised myself there. I didn't think I was gonna kill both of those people and survive the nade there, but I did. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of going back and watching other Call of Duty 4 videos. Some of them from like the time period that I, you know, enjoyed watching them, and while I was watching them, I was also going back and watching some. The best of Machinima Respawn, like the show with Sark and APL, Fisher and Hutch, and just like the different like best of clips. And I had there's so many like laughs, and again with the same experience of like laughing at a joke I remember laughing at years ago, you know, like in 2009, 2010, and then I have like the memory of watching it again, like rediscovering that clip again, you know, 6 years later, 7 years later on a phone. And then I have, you know, the same memory of watching it like the last time, the most recent time I had watched it, I guess. And so like all three of these places were different places. And the only place, like the physical place that I could place, the only physical place in the world that I could place, the memory was the most recent one, just because it stood out. It was just the other day, you know what I mean? It's hard to forget something that recent, that fresh in your brain. But yeah, I kind of felt like at a certain point I was just rambling there about nothing, so I kind of just stopped, had to realize, take a breath for a second, realize you've already kind of said everything you're saying, and at this point you're not really speaking, it's just word vomit. And I think I've been having a lot of that experience lately as well, this word vomit, kind of not really saying anything. And I think that's just because I've had my head down a lot recently, so to say, working on different projects, different school things. I'm about to graduate, and so I've, you know, thesis and things like that. I've really been occupying my time a considerable amount. In not just my time, but my mental capacity, and it gets to that point where like it gets to be your endurance, like we're studying becomes like an endurance aspect, and we're definitely at that point now, and I think it's just making my brain not work completely well, and so I'm just kind of dealing with that, and I'm at that point now where I'm like a week away from the main part being over, the hard part, the part where that really is a problem and makes me struggle. And so I think when that part's over, I'm going to be able to speak in sentences because that seems to be a tad bit difficult, at least at this point in time. And one of those things that I want to do during that time to kind of work on this kind of speaking that I guess I'm not just like the speaking in general, but this kind of way to like refresh myself, but as well to kind of keep momentum at the same time, like oxymoronically work on something that relaxes you, so to say. And I think one of those things is like some sort of video game based work of art. Or whatever that will mean. I think it'll take the form of some sort of zine. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Maybe you share some of these memories with me.